Okay. Okay. So, welcome to the interview, Tess. And you are now a singles wrestler, but you started with a Shield a few years ago. What do you think? Did it help you to be in a stable years ago, or do you think if you would have debuted as a single star, it would have the same impact as now?
For me, obviously, I have the utmost confidence in my own ability, so I think I would have gotten to this point with or without the Shield. But the truth is, we had a lot of fun doing what we were doing, and it was nice to come in all together, with Dean and Roman, and we were able to kind of lean on each other a little bit and pick up the slack where the other ones, we're still learning a little bit. So I think it was a beneficial experience for all three of us to learn the ropes of the WWE schedule, and just to be out there with your friends in the ring. It made a lot of difference as far as our confidence level, I think, from a night-to-night basis.
Yeah, and do you think there is a reason why there are today less stables than like in the 90s or 2000 maybe?
I don't know. I mean, wrestling is cyclical, so I think eventually it'll come back around. You'll see more stables and stuff like that. But for the time being, it just kind of is how it is, and I think that it'll, like I said, it'll come back around. You'll see that. I don't think there's any particular reason why that is the way it is.
Can you tell us a bit about your first meeting with Vince McMahon?
I don't remember my first meeting with Vince McMahon. It was probably sometime at a Raw event when I was still working for NXT, and I probably shook his hand very nervously and said, "Hello, Mr. McMahon. It's good to meet you. My name is Seth Rollins." Beyond that, I can't recall. I never had a big first meeting where I came into the office and sat down with him and any of that stuff. All my dealings when I was getting hired were through Triple H and the talent relations crew. So at the time, it wasn't it wasn't like the early 90s when $1 Million Man had to go in there and Vince pitched in this big old character. It's a different animal nowadays. So I met him very casually. It wasn't too big of a deal, I don't think.
How many sleepless nights did you have before WrestleMania after you had your knee injury, if you, because of the possibility to miss another WrestleMania?
It was really frustrating, especially right off the bat. The first night, I honestly thought the knee injury was going to be as bad as my previous knee injury. It felt almost exactly the same. I felt a big pop and a lot of heat in that area, and I thought for sure I was going to be out for another 6 to 8 months rehabilitating an ACL tear. Fortunately for me, I ended up dodging a bullet, and I got away with a grade 2 MCL tear, which is pretty severe. But the timeline worked out that I was able to get back for WrestleMania, and as soon as I got the news that it was going to be a 6 to 8 week healing process before I could compete again, I mean, I was obviously trying to shave time off that as quickly as possible. So I didn't have time for sleepless nights. I wish that I had could have mourned it a little bit, but as soon as I got the word the next day that after we did the x-rays and the MRI that it was only an MCL sprain, I was already working, already trying to get back.
Your opponent is Triple H. You're being able to face Triple H at WrestleMania is a privilege. Only a few chosen few get this one. What does it mean to you to meet such a superstar who has been along there a long time around here, 20 years, and is one of the biggest stars in the business?
Yeah, you said it. Triple H is a guy who's got a WrestleMania legacy that's up there with all the greats, and for someone in my position to be able to be in the ring with him on the grandest stage is going to be very special. I think it's going to bring out the best in me and hopefully the best in Triple H, and we've got a real good opportunity with a great story going forward that we could have a match of the night and a classic WrestleMania show stealer. So I'm very much looking forward to getting out there again. It's the first time I've been in front of a WrestleMania crowd in 2 years, and the first time I've wrestled in 2 months. So it's going to be very interesting. But I plan on pushing Triple H as far as he can go, and I hope that he pushes back.
Roman Reigns, your former Shield partner, has gotten an even bigger privilege to face the Undertaker in one of his last matches. It seems like Roman Reigns is developing into a bigger star for WWE, to kind of the next John Cena. Many people don't understand that. Ask it, why aren't you the next John Cena, the next superstar? What do you think is the difference the difference between you both?
I mean, I fancy myself as the biggest star in the company, not Roman Reigns. So it really depends on your perspective, I guess. If last year I missed WrestleMania, so I'm a year behind. Maybe next year I'll work with the Undertaker. Who knows? The point is, I don't think that it's much of a contest. I think that there's, we're out, both of us just working as hard as we can to be as good as we can for the company and for the industry. And I think that obviously we're both in very high-profile matches this year. I don't see any particular reason why one is ahead of the other. Roman's done well, at WrestleMania and had big matches. So have I. Last time I was at WrestleMania, I left with the world title. We've both had really good media appearances and done things for ESPN, and I've been on the Daily Show and the Today Show and stuff. So, I mean, it goes both ways. I think it depends on your perspective. But obviously, for me, I want to be the star, and he does. And I don't think either of us are looking to be the next anything. We're looking to be the first of our own. So, we'll see where it pans out. But there's definitely going to be some parallels in our careers over the years, for sure.
I saw your documentary, and when you hurt your knee the first time, you said you were always running around from show to show, and then at once you were at home, and you were a little bit irritated that you have so much free time. And you said you enjoyed it a little bit, but mostly you want to go back to wrestling. What did you change? What did the hurting of your knee change in your mind since then? Do you live another way now?
I think I just don't take it for granted as much. When we're in the system and we're just running hard nonstop like a smooth engine, you kind of take for granted the day to day of what you're doing, the different towns you get to see, the different parts of the world, because you're on to the next one so quickly. And I think being out of the game for so long, I had a lot of time to reflect and really appreciate kind of the cool part of the life that I have as a WWE superstar and getting to go to all these different cities and countries all over the world and performing. So for me, it was just when I came back, it was I didn't take it for granted as much. I tried to enjoy what I was doing on a day-to-day basis instead of always looking forward and always looking to the next thing. It was more about living in the moment and enjoying the process.
And what do you do exactly to do this, to live in the moment?
I think you just take a second every day to look around where you're at and what you've got in front of you. I think, like I said, if you're constantly looking forward to what is the next thing or the next show or the next big pay-per-view or whatever it may be, you're going to miss out on the people and the places that you're running into in that moment. It's almost like being on your cell phone when you're having a conversation with somebody else. So if you just put the phone away and enjoy the company that you're with, you'll get a lot more out of that internally as opposed to always wondering what's next. So I think that's just a metaphor for how you need to step back and appreciate what you've got. Thank you.
Thank you. So going to the next table.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Don't hurt again, please.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.